Hi, Zach Burris, Director of CAA Football Communications here, alongside CAA Commissioner Tom Yeager. Welcome to our new Tom's Take series that we're starting up for CAA Football's newly launched blog, Every Day is Saturday, which you can find at caafootball.wordpress.com. We'll be regularly visiting here with Tom for just a few minutes here in his office to get his take on everything going on around CAA football. So Tom, let's first kind of look back at the 12 weeks of regular season play. What kind of jumps out at you among the many moments and events?
Well, again, Zach, I think it was how competitive it was again, and how games hinge on one particular play, one inopportune penalty, that the margin of error is so very, very small. I mean, you look at William and Mary's season, where so many of those games were decided by just a couple points, which translated to a play here, a play there, and it always is. An injury, a key injury, that alters a team's fortunes. So it was, again, just another very competitive season with great fan support and great interest, great players, in the league. And now as we get ready for playoff run, we hope to go deep into the playoffs.
Once again, this, especially down the stretch here, this was pretty exciting, would be one word for it. Can you kind of take us through, the regular season stretch and how crazy this race ultimately came to be?
Well, I think the surprising thing was we went into the last weekend with as many as 6 teams being able to tie for first. I don't think anybody in any league has ever had that. Mm-hmm. When you have that many possibilities, all the traditional tiebreakers seem to be just clogged. Because everybody doesn't play each other, and so it was pretty tense, going down. We also recognized that a number of the other leagues were having very good seasons, and so what had been the standard expectation of 4 or 5 teams in the playoffs were going to be difficult this year. Not because our play dropped off at all, but others kind of caught up to a little bit of it. Again, it was one of those, you always want to try to have decisions settled on the field, and ultimately it was. We didn't have to go to a computer. So, from that standpoint, it was a good outcome.
Yeah. What was running through your head, I guess, just in the closing moments of the weekend, in terms of what may actually happen? Will we be able to figure it out? Is this going to go into Sunday?
Well, interestingly enough, when we recognized what seemed to be the possibility of having to go to the computers as an objective way of breaking things, then we ran into a timing question. And the fact that we've got the football committee sitting out in Indianapolis that is chomping at the bit to try to get the bracket done, and they might be waiting on us and all of college football to get a computer ranking coming out. There were some issues that were being raised by my colleagues about, hey, what's the deal? And so, I was glad that we were able to get it concluded as early as possible, and that it was settled by actual performance on the field, so that it didn't get into just another whole level of what's the CAA doing, and why are we all sitting here waiting for one league to get finished. I thought we were supposed to be done earlier. We'll fix it, hopefully going forward, that we won't run into that again. But I don't know, if you end up with 6 teams, that a lot of which you didn't play each other, I don't know if there is a fix for that. But it was, it was fairly tense trying to sort it all out and see, knowing what was hanging in the balance, and knowing that it was likely we had some very good teams that are some of the best in the country that probably just weren't going to make the field because there just weren't enough spots.
Mm-hmm. And after all is said and done, Villanova earned the league's auto bid, and they'll be in the playoffs, joined by New Hampshire and Old Dominion. Do you have any thoughts, just kind of general thoughts on the postseason moving forward now?
Well, again, I think we fared very well in the postseason. I think one of the things why it's important, and it's not supposed to be part of the committee's decision, but there is so little intersectional games. even really good games against top teams in one league from top teams in the other, where you get a little bit of measure of, the league reputation. And so you're left with something that, very similar to leagues' reputations with bowl games. How you doing in the bowl games, good or bad, In the FCS, that reputation hinges a lot on how you do in the NCAA championship. We hope to be able to continue that outstanding performance that we've had, that our teams get some lucky bounces, play well, play with as few mistakes as possible because the level of competition has ramped up. And in the past, the level of play in the league has really prepared our teams for the NCAA and helped them be successful.
Exactly. And then, so everything gets started this weekend when Villanova heads to Stony Brook, future league member, for its first round matchup up there. Do you have any thoughts on the matchup, maybe even a prediction for us?
Well, again, it's going to have the unique aspect that Stony Brook is, going to join the league next year. But this year, our representative is Villanova. Like a good game, I hope we prevail. That being the Villanova, at the right time, we'll the situation reverse. I'll be in my conference game mode if that lines up. We've had a number of playoff times in the NCAAs, where a couple times with two semifinal matches where the winner went to the national championship game, the loser's season was over. So we've had that experience before. But I hope it's a good game and representative of a quick test with a very good Stony Brook team. How they're going to line up in the league next year.
And you've been doing this whole football thing for a while now. Do you remember a Thanksgiving holiday weekend when you weren't traveling or anticipating traveling, being on the road?
Well, the last couple, this is our 6th or 7th year where we've been doing it. It just kind of comes into the, you just block it out. We've had years where there's been a game on Friday, and we've had, as the bracket expanded to 20 teams, there are fewer number of games on Thanksgiving weekend. But in the past, all the games were on Thanksgiving weekend. And so we had a whole bunch of teams all over the place. It comes with the territory. Going to go up to Long Island this weekend and see that game, and then we'll see how far it goes from there.
And before, of course, the game, we have Thanksgiving itself. What are your Thanksgiving plans?
Well, I have family coming in, which is nice, and get a chance to kind of kick back and enjoy it. Maybe get some yard work done, which I haven't been around many weekends here and stuff like that. But just celebrate what is. Thanksgiving is a special holiday, for so many people and families and stuff. So looking forward to that. And then, like I say, on Saturday we'll fire it up and away we go.
And I guess let's just end on maybe a memorable note. Do you have a particular Thanksgiving memory that jumps out at you?
Oh, I think, it's, a lot of it, personally would go back to, the big Thanksgiving football games, high school football games we played in and growing up with that and kind of that tradition and usually around family and around, for years after that, decades after that, just being around family and ways that football weaves its way into that particular holiday. Oftentimes it's just in the background maybe on stuff, but again, just an opportunity, I think, to recognize all the blessings everybody's been given and the outcome for looking forward to a bright future.
And maybe the chance to sit down and enjoy some non-CAA football. Thursday.
Yeah, that's it. But I don't, with everything that's going on with college athletics this week, I'm not sure it's going to be very calm, and I'm not sure it's going to take much of a break for the holiday.
As long as you have some time for turkey.
We'll make sure of that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tom. That should just about do it now for our inaugural edition of Tom's Take. Check back with us on our Everyday is Saturday blog at cafootball.wordpress.com. For future webisodes and other exclusive content that you just won't be able to find on our official website, cafootball.com, we invite you to share your thoughts, ideas, and photos with us on Facebook at facebook.com/CAA Football and on Twitter at _CAA Football. Be sure to tag all CAA football related tweets with our official hashtag CAAFB. We're also now on Instagram by searching CAA Football. So check out our account for game day footage, behind the scenes shots, and much more. For Commissioner Yeager, I'm Zach Burris. Thanks for joining us.